What's up, everybody? Welcome back. For those of you that are new, my name is Q, and I have a question for you. What do you think is happening in punk records right now? Who do you think that figure was on the camera? Who do you think is the traitor? Who do you think is sabotaging the plans for escape for the Stella and the satellites and the Straw Hats? Who do you think is the mastermind behind this whole big fiasco that we're dealing with? The missing Stella, the kidnapped CP0, the loss of control. Originally, a couple chapters ago, I had wanted it to be S Flamingo, or the missing Seraphim, the other three, maybe four, Seraphim of the Seven Warlords. And I wanted it to be S Flamingo and S Gecko specifically because, or S Bat. Whatever Gecko Moria Seraphim is going to be designated as. Like, his name is Gecko, but, like, he has bat wings, and his powers are shadows, so, like, whatever his Seraphim is going to be called. And I felt like those two could work because Gecko Moria would be the only one that Doflamingo could manipulate. Like, Crocodile isn't going for it, Hancock, Jimbei, Kuma, Cat. Excuse me. Now, but what I really think is going now, as we've gotten further along, I don't think it's them of their own free will. Because they had said early in the arc that they couldn't override the creature's base instincts. And Doflamingo's base instinct is just evil. Like, that's his default. Now, it still could be S Flamingo and S Gecko, but through a different route. What I think is going on is, and we all know Oda loves his movies. What I think is going on is he's pulling from the movie I, Robot with Will Smith, where you had all of these robots connected to, like, Vicky, this big computer brain in the center of the sky inside this building, which is the same as Punk Records, this giant brain in the center of the actual sky, floating in the air, this giant computer brain, this Wikipedia of the One Piece world that everybody eventually is going to connect to if we don't have to blow it up by the end of this video. Now, Punk Records is the majority of Vegapunk's brain. His Devil Fruit just allows his brain to continually store knowledge and increase in size. So it got too big, so he cut it off. So now he's like a normal size head. So this majority of his brain is floating in the air. And we see his satellites all have different personalities. Now, first off, which came first? Did he cut his brain off and then create the satellites to connect with them via antenna and synchronization and radio waves or whatever? Like, what have you? Or does each satellite have a piece of his brain? Pythagoras is just a walking head case. It's a football with little robot limbs. Is there brain tissue in there, or is that just a robot that can sync up via technology? Because tech in One Piece is wild. Or are there pieces of his brain in there? Did he create the satellites and they perform the operation and cut his head off? But if they're just robots or cyborgs, no, because Lilith and Alice changed her face via parts. So she's probably, they're all probably just robots. How Lilith, York, and Shaka look, Shaka has a mask on, but how they look human, I don't know if they're clones or straight up androids. If they're straight up androids and have no brain tissue, then it's just the two Stellas, Punk Records and the Old Man, and then the 6 satellites. Now, in terms of authority, right, for the Seraphim, they had the Authority Chp, Sentomaru, Vegapunk, and then the Gorosei. Now, in that Vegapunk tier list, I like to think there's a differentiation. The Old Man has the final say above Shaka and the rest of them. Now, why wouldn't that also apply to Punk Records? The satellites have their own personality, so why wouldn't that also apply to Punk Records? Punk Records is most of his brain. Some people argue that he got dumber when he cut it off. I think he's just old and silly, kind of how, like, our grandparents were. Now, if Punk Records is Vegapunk and has developed its own personality, it has control of the Seraphim almost easier than everybody else. Now in chapter 1074, on page 2, the first page, not counting the cover page, you see Mark III Pacifista number 41 throwing hands with CP0 with a black suit and a bazooka. What he thought the bazooka was gonna do, I don't know, but he was fighting for his life. He was throwing hands. He was going out without a fight. You killed my brother. Now, in the next page, you see Sentomaru coming to and starting to move. And they're like, your wounds, your wounds, your wounds. And he goes, how's the Pacifista? Now, the Seraphim are called Pacifista as well. So that could be misleading, could be confusing purposefully. Then he activates all 50 Mark III Pacifista. 41 is missing. He said all 50 of you. Either they made 51 Pacifista, which is a weird number, and science, I don't think, no. There's 50. And he doesn't know one is missing because Punk Records plucked one out the middle and said, you go do this. So it's not on Sentomaru's order that Mark III is on the move. So who did it? Punk Records. The Seraphim are still attacking everybody. They're attacking Shaka. They're attacking Pythagoras, Lilith. 3 different Vegapunks have ordered them to stand down. I guess 2 of them never really got to finish the order. But the order is to kill the Vegapunks. Because they're attacking the Vegapunks. They were after CP0, but they're also after everybody. Pythagoras was attacked by himself. So the Seraphim are after them as well. Everybody's going down. Why? Well, because they're trying to leave. None of this happened until it was stated that they were trying. Once they established that they were going to leave, shit started going wrong. Punk Records does not want to be alone. It's going to get lonely. It's going to get salty. It's going to get mad. Probably already very mad. Has a different personality than the rest of them, I would assume, because all of them have their own individuality, their own uniqueness. And because it's a majority of the brain, it probably thinks itself as numero uno, that it is the Stella and not the old man. Or it needs the old man, and that's why the old man is still alive and captured, held hostage in a hidden cell somewhere in Building B. Which, mind you, Sanji, Stussy, and Jinbei are in Building B. I don't know, the 2nd floor, I think? Something like that. But it's getting to the point where we need to figure this out before the Marines show up, or it's going to be straight chaos. It's going to be straight chaos. Everyone's going to be attacking. It's going to be on the run, explosions everywhere. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome is what it's going to be. It's going to be great. And especially, we'll save that one for later. But the only way is to A, take Punk Records out, or B, realize that it's Punk Records and appease it. Bring it with you? I doubt it. Ain't no way. One of the Vegapunks, I think, or all of the satellites will stay, but all of them actually will stay behind. Who knows? I don't think Vegapunk actually goes to sea with us, because that would be too much hacks. Straw Hats would be way too overpowered if Vegapunk boarded ship. So I don't think, just like Yamato, I don't think Vegapunk's coming for the ride. Now, that's what I think is going on. I think she's taken over. I keep calling it a she because in iRobot, the command center, its name was Vicky. And it was an abbreviation, but I remember it being Vicky. Oh, excuse me. I'm taking my pre-workout. Gonna go hit my Saitama workout, bro. Let's go. 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats every day. 1K run. Let's get it. If you've made it this far, I hope you've hit that like and subscribe button. But what I was really excited to talk about after, I was thinking about this all day, is Usopp and Nami. That is what I'm excited to talk about. Primarily Usopp. Because Nami's been getting these power-ups and these power-ups and these power-ups. And she's really a glass cannon is the term that best describes her that I have heard used. A glass cannon. Granted, Usopp and Nami are pretty durable. They took some awful headbutts in Wano, and they're still alive. So you got to give them credit. Even though they're the weakest Straw Hats, physically the weakest Straw Hats, on the crew, they're pretty good. But what I'm excited for is Usopp is hanging out with Lilith. Lilith has this bazooka that's just a bubble gun. It's that same bubble shield that Mark III used in the beginning of the chapter. If Usopp gets a hold of that bubble tech and has a bubble defense shield around him and Nami that use range attacks, so we have a Sniper King, God Usopp, sniping from cover with Nami and her sorcery climb attack with Zeus infused from cover with defense. The Straw Hats are gonna be our problems. Every one of them's a problem. We just need Chopper to become a problem. Usopp needs this bubble tech, and Chopper needs to grow some balls, and the Straw Hats are not to be fucked with. That is all I have for today's video. That is what has been on my mind all day. So please make sure you do your Saitama workout. Please make sure you subscribe and like the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Deuces.